All right, welcome back everyone. So today I just want to make a video kind of going over my background in training and sports, just so you kind of have like an idea of where I'm coming from with my athletic background and kind of where I want to go. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm not going to get into details, but just like a overall, uh, like a resume, if you will, of my background with athletic activities. So, growing up, I played mostly hockey and soccer. Started playing hockey when I was really since I could walk, playing street hockey, and started playing roller hockey when I was like 7 in my driveway, and then 10. I was like 10 years old when I started playing in a league. Um, I also played soccer, same thing, back as far as I can remember. So a lot of the nice months of the year, I was playing hockey pretty much actually all year round. Even in the winter, I would shovel the driveway and still play. Uh, Summertime, fall time, well, springtime, I was playing soccer, and I would play a lot, both of those a lot. Like, I remember waking up early before the bus would come for school in the morning and play hockey for like an hour. And I would stay out late and put a light out in the driveway and keep playing. So I was definitely very active. I rode my bike a lot. Um, Once I got into high school or late middle school, I started running cross country. And then in high school, I started running track. So did a lot of long distance running from the time I was like 14, 15, and I continued with that all the way through high school. That kind of teetered off a little bit, but going back when I was like probably 14, 13, 14, I got into riding dirt bikes. Um, so I rode motocross recreationally, not competitively, but um, I wanted to be competitive in it, but it's just a big time and financial commitment to get into that sport, and just it didn't happen at that time. But I rode as much as I could every summer from pretty much the time I was 14. Um, so all those sports really were more endurance based. I mean, I probably built some sort of leg muscle just from all the running and skating I did, but really did not have a lot of muscle at all. I was always skinny. I was like 5 foot flat, probably in middle school, and I peaked out. I think I stopped growing in ninth grade, and I was like 5'4". I'm 5'4" right now, and I remember in ninth grade, um, contemplating doing wrestling, and I was going to be in the 99 weight class. So I weighed 100 pounds, 5'4". And just for a reference, I'm 5'4" now, and I'm like, as we speak, probably just under 150. So just kind of goes to show you how skinny I was back then. Um, so I've definitely put on a lot of weight since then. But through lifting, that is, not with the sports I did. The sports I did really did not build me any muscle, just some athleticism. So I did not start lifting until I went to college. And for actually like a year into college, I started using the college gym. So I was like 19 years old at the time, and I didn't know anything about lifting. I just went in and just went hard. Um, my training looked like like the Rocky movie montage of training. I just one thing after another and just went until I couldn't breathe anymore. Um, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything. That's just how I like training. I like going all out. And I mean, I had several people ask me like what the hell I'm training for, and it wasn't for anything. I just like to train that way. But I will also say that my training had no uh, it had nothing to it. I just would like look at something and just go over there and do it. So there was no strategy or plan. Just all I knew is I had to hit my full body. That was my thing. I went to the gym 3 times, 4 times a week, and every time I would hit, everything. Not really everything, but lower body and upper body. Um, so yeah, so from 19, I was 19 years old. I trained a little bit only when I was there during the semesters, but it was on and off. Um, I didn't start training regularly until I was 21, um, which I bought this thing you see behind me here in 2000, or sorry, 2020, just before I turned 21. So, yeah, 2000, like halfway through 2020, I bought what you see behind me. And since having this, I've trained regularly with some breaks. I've had some medical things go on and I've been out for like a month or two at a time, or maybe a few instances where life got busy and I couldn't train. But for the most part, I was training consistently. Now, for like the first 2 years I had this thing, I was still training like just a madman. Just had no idea what I was doing. I think I might have looked up a few programs online and I followed them and I probably added more onto it and just didn't know anything. And I probably went from, I think when I started college, I was 120 pounds. I think I remember getting up to 130. I broke 130 and I was like super hyped about that, just being 130 pounds. So I got my quick initial 10-pound gain, but I was still pretty skinny. Um, so I would say it wasn't until 2022, about 2 years ago, a year and a half to 2 years ago, where really I started training more intelligently. So in 2021, I went uh, back to school. I went to school initially. I left and I went back in 2021. I went for exercise science, so naturally I was into this stuff and I wanted to learn about it. And even during that time, I was doing a ton of experimenting. I was just my own guinea pig. I would try everything and anything. But really, for the past year and a half, I've gotten much more specific with what I want out of my training and my goals, and which has led to me training like a bodybuilder will say. And, you know, I've dialed in my training so much so that I'll train for a week now, or like months ago I trained for a week, and the progress I got in a week was equivalent to like 2 or 3 months of training like 4 years ago. So, which I'll go, I kind of got ahead of myself. I'll get into that in a minute, but I just want to say the first 2 years I trained in every way possible. I followed like bodybuilder programs just from the internet, powerlifting, like 5x5, strong lifts, starting strength, done strength, like powerlifting type training, not seriously, but like I said, I've done things like starting strength and try to get, my numbers up. Um, still was super skinny, and wasn't did not have an impressive physique. I was like very lean, and to be honest, my numbers weren't even that good either. Um, so one thing I really wanted to say is you got to stop following a program for the program's sake and follow the program that yields results for you. So I'll say that again. Stop following a program for the program's sake and follow the program that yields results for you. So what I mean by that is I would follow these programs, and they're not inherently bad, but one, first of all, is it even what you want to do? Is it going to obtain the goal that you want? Secondly, um, is it actually is the program written at a point in your training that's actually going to yield results? And also, is it even going to help you get results with all the variables to go with training? I'm not going to get into all of them, but my point is what I did is I took a step back from training, from following programs. I dialed in certain training variables like intensity, volume, just all of them. And I learned how my body responded to training, and I just made progress so much faster. So I know that sounds confusing, but basically what I'm saying is instead of just blindly following a program, and really the biggest thing with a program is what are your certain variables set at, like intensity, frequency, volume, training technique, things like that. You need to clarify what your goal is, which when you have your goal will determine those things. Also, your training age will determine those things, how long you've been training for. And then once you dial in those variables, training really becomes very easy because you're just doing certain lifts in whatever way you're doing it, whether it's for strength, hypertrophy, whatever, and you can actually monitor your progress because those variables are staying the same, which is a big thing that I did, going from following programs to writing my own program. So, kind of with that being said, uh, so the reason I'm talking about bodybuilding type of training is because my training goal is to build a physique. Ever since I started lifting when I was 19 years old in college, I was 5'4", 120 pounds, super skinny. And I just hated being skinny. I hated wearing clothes, and I just like swam in clothes. I would wear size small or medium, and they would be big on me. So I really just wanted to get bigger, and I think that's probably what a lot of other people want. Maybe you want to lose weight too, but either way, you just want to fit in your clothes better and feel better, whether you're trying to put on weight or lose weight, whatever the case may be. That's probably like 90% of guys out there. They just want to like look better in their clothes. So, yeah, so another thing too is the more specific my goals were, the more progress I made. So, for example, going real general of I'm just going to train hard, like what I used to do, had no idea about training. I'm just going to hit my full body and train hard. My results were little. They were basically my beginner gains, and that was it. And then I just plateaued. Nothing happened. Uh, More specifically, today, if I'm saying, okay, I'm really going to focus on growing my arms, my progress is like 10 times better because I know what I'm actually programming for, what I'm actually training for, and I can set everything up to actually, um, hit its mark, and you can actually monitor it if everything's consistent. So, yeah, hopefully that wasn't too much rambling on, but I just kind of wanted to give a brief background of who I am with my training and kind of currently where I'm at. So, yeah, that's all I have for today. So, I'll see you in the next one.